Hey everyone, welcome back to Pop Culturally Challenged. My name is David. This is my beautiful wife Toni.
Hello.
Tonight we're going to be watching the bonus episode of Band of Brothers called We Stand Alone Together. You enjoyed the whole series, right?
Yeah, it was a hard series, but I'm glad I watched it. I'm excited to see this last.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything to do with the war. I think this is all just the guys who were actually there, the older gentlemen. So I'm looking forward to that, seeing what they have to say. I really hope that they had good lives. And I mean, they're obviously still alive at this point, so they've lived long lives. So hopefully those lives were good and they found joy and happiness. And
I agree with that.
Let's hope.
Okay.
Let's hope this is the happy episode for this show. So, all right. Well, if you enjoy this reaction, please give us a thumbs up. Comment down below. Let us know what you thought of this episode. Like the video if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you're not. If you would like to see the full-length reaction to this and everything else that we reacted to, we will put the link to our Patreon down below. And on that note, on with the show.
All I remember is a tremendous blast. And the next thing I knew, I was laying on the ground in the snow. And when I tried to get up, only thing I could see were the broken ends of my legs.
Oh, God.
And I thought, I'm about to die. And then the next thing I thought of was my mother. Because I was an only child.
So much for the happy episode.
I thought
1942, the U.S. Army assembled a volunteer parachute regiment to jump behind enemy lines.
I thought you couldn't serve if you were an only child.
Yeah, I don't know. Within this unit was a company of men who found themselves at the forefront of the war in Europe. They parachuted to Normandy on D-Day. God, that sucks.
My name is C. Carwood Lipton.
Frederick T. Heiliger. My father worked for this railroad. My mother was a housewife.
My nickname was Babe.
Babe.
Born and raised in South Philadelphia. Mom had 10 children.
God.
We were in a store and a guy, he says, the USA is in a war with Japan. And everything just went silent.
I said, let's go in the Army. He said, hell, I don't want to go in no Army. I said, well, you're going to have to go sooner or later.
I wasn't going to be in the infantry, I knew that. I was going to be in some top kind of a unit, or I wasn't going to be in the Army.
Life magazine had run an article on paratroopers, and it told about the training that they got, and I just got interested in seeing if I couldn't become a paratrooper.
You volunteered, and it was the notion that you wanted to do something.
Out of 100%, only 10% made it.
I thought I was going to die. Had to climb this mountain called Currahee every morning.
And it didn't matter how hard they trained you and how tired you got, you would still go out on your own and run the mountain at night, which was ridiculous because when you had to run it during the day, all you did was bitch and moan.
We packed our own chutes for the first jump.
Nervous as hell getting on the plane.
You're asking yourself, what the hell am I doing?
Yeah.
They marched us all out there to the airfield. There was a bunch of guys out there that already made their jump, and they was all hollering, you're going to be sorry, you know.
But it was quite a thrill. It was just like going on a roller coaster. You get off and you want to go right back on again.
I'll take their word for that.
Then you worried about, most was your chute, did you pack it right? And you'd go through that, you'd pack it one day and jump the next day. You had all night to think about it.
18 months? Wow. Oh man, then 12 days on a boat. And then 8 more months?
We were ready. We were stationed in England for about a year before D-Day.
They had guards around the marshalling area, so nobody could leave. We did not know where we were going to jump until we were locked in.
So there's no question about it. We knew it was going to be big. We were confident and calm.
Wow. I see being confident. Calm, not so much. I don't...
Well, if you feel prepared, you're going to be calm.
Yeah, I guess...
And confident.
You've done everything you can possibly do. And...
I had no feelings whatsoever. Like I said, my feelings was for my brother who was killed.
Oh, that's him.
I swore I was going to kill every damn German I came across. And that's why I think they nicknamed me Wild Bill, because I did a lot of killing D-Day.
Shove up to the door, throw that leg out, prop blast will hit it, and you're gone. Only I was gone out, and my leg was in, and I was hanging upside down, and Paul rolled me out.
I just helped him out. I just picked him up, threw him out, I guess. And I could see the tracers, and they were kind of spraying around in the air. Whoever the machine gunner was down there that was apparently was not a very good shot.
Thankfully.
These guns were pointed and firing right down on the beach.
God.
Wow.
But they weren't aware of what we had. They didn't realize we only had 12 people.
And then I saw an arm stuck over that tent and one of those potato masher grenades. And that thing fell right down in that trench with me. And I was trying to scuttle my way out of the way of it, and it went off.
Oh, there's a guy who exploded. Yeah, remember yeah. I think he got hit in the ass or whatever with a shrapnel.
He hollers, "I'm sorry, Lieutenant."
I felt like I kind of let him down, but...
It's beautiful when you think of a guy who is that dedicated to his company that he apologizes for getting hit. But that's the kind of guy he was. And that's the kind each one of them was. They were all the same. Each one of them proved himself. If I'd done a little bit better job, there would have been a couple more men going home.
Oh, man. I wonder if all of them died or if some of them were just, injured and taken out.
They got that done in Edinburgh, Scotland, 1944. Me and Johnny Martin. Drunk as a skunk.
That's the best time to get a tattoo.
Yeah, I guess so.
We were the replacements for the people who were killed in action or wounded in the Normandy mission.
And for some reason, I don't know why, they were the first ones killed. And I think maybe they were trying to
One lung, McClung.
impress.
They were like heroes to us, That's how we looked at that.
I got right there to where I didn't want to be friendly. God, I didn't like to see them get killed.
Okay.
Sunday afternoon, noontime.
We moved out towards the Wilhelmina Canal. And taking hours to get there, the few German troops that were to secure it had plenty of time to set their charges to blow the thing up.
I was maybe 150 yards away. It blew up in our faces.
Wow.
They call us angels from the sky.
And it was hard to even get down the street because the people were out there swarming all over.
That would be Tony wanting to give him a hug.
And they hugged you and kissed you, and we didn't mind.
Of course not.
Yeah.
I saw a huge mushroom cloud. Joe Joy stepped out. I ran up and I grabbed him. And he said, "Oh, don't touch me. I'm hit all over." He said,
I said, I'm going to go see Jim. He said, I already checked him. He's gone. And I never, I sleep on it, I eat on it, I never forgot that. And anybody that went through it will tell you the same thing. He can't die.
Jesus.
You got to remember what one guy did because he thought it was his job to do, and he took a shot for you.
Wow. Jesus. 600,000? That was just Americans?
Sure looks different now. There ain't no snow. That's it. Yeah.
That has to be so weird to go back there 50 plus years later.
Everything I see was shredded. Yeah, shredded. To me, it brings a lot of memories. Memories of the men, the times.
That's going to be so hard.
As it worked out, there's some men actually got on the trucks and left for Bastogne and didn't have a rifle.
Wow, that would be
How
terrifying.
were they going to fight? How?
Well, they figured they'd get the stuff later.
They were beaten up, and every one of them were telling us, you know, they're going to kill everybody. We went down to town, we started taking up their weapons and their ammunition.
Asking the guys that's retreating, you got any extra ammunition or hand grenades you don't want?
That is bravery right there.
We didn't have no winter clothing or nothing.
Bad move. Ooh, cold place.
And we set up our positions around the fringe of the woods.
In Belgium, the trees are planted. There are rows of trees. You look down a row and you can see a half a mile.
Wow.
You'd be surprised how quick you can get through that hard ground when somebody's shooting at you.
And by the time you get it done, they whistle for you to, we're moving out. And you go someplace else and dig another one.
Oh, my God.
And as we hit the woods where this tremendous artillery attack came.
Was Malarkey with Winters all the time?
I think so.
We had lost some very good men. Toy and Garnier had lost their legs there. A number of other people were killed. It was difficult.
When a man was wounded, he felt happy for them. He had a ticket to get out of there. And when we had a man who was killed, they found that he was at peace.
Never before has a full division been cited by the War Department in the name of the President for gallantry in action.
Wow. A whole division.
There was almost a solid line of German troops. Our job is to get to the end. Butcher's Garden at the end of the line. This is the place to capture. This is the one everybody wanted.
Hitler's Berchtesgaden Garden retreat, burned by SS troops in the war's last days.
It was beautiful country. He knew how to pick out a good spot for a house.
It did look beautiful.
We found a warehouse full of gin, and we took it all and set up a bar.
I started drinking it one day, and I drank it till about midnight that night. I didn't wake up the next day.
That was the only time that I can ever remember that the whole company fell out in their underwear.
It was a paradise for a soldier to move into. I had no problem with looting because of the fact that I had come down through Germany and I had seen the Holocaust.
Oh, yeah.
And I had seen what the Germans had done to the Jewish race, and I'd seen what they had done to the displaced persons, and what they had done in their occupation of France, so that by taking over their homes for a few nights to bed down my men, and if they picked up a few trinkets, I had no problem.
That makes sense now.
Yeah.
Nobody has ever taken their time to tell you how to handle a surrender. We'll talk about that when we get there. Well, here we are. We got it.
They came down in formation. They marched. They came down as defeated soldiers. I think we thought that the Germans were probably the evilest people in the world. A lot of those soldiers, I thought about this often. That man and I might have been good friends. We might have had a lot in common. You never know. Under different circumstances, we might have been good friends.
I was assigned this major, and when he walked in, he presented me this pistol and offered his personal surrender. But it wasn't until later that I realized this pistol had never been fired.
Wow.
That's the way all wars should end. And I assure you, this pistol has never been fired since I've had it, and it will not be fired.
I wonder what happened to that gun. I hope it's in a museum or something.
I think it was difficult for most fellas coming back.
Went to work for a coal company.
Did some bartending. Became an industrial arts teacher and a social studies teacher.
A letter carrier for 37 years.
You name it, I done it.
I ended up working on the waterfront.
We've never become wealthy in life, but we have a lot of other wealth that means more than that.
Everyone done well. I done well too.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic.
The purpose the reunion serves is just to give us a chance to get together and talk to each other. We relive some of the Army experiences, but we have great respect for each other. The type of affection that you get when you've lived through many dangerous situations together.
That bond still is. The bond you can't explain.
We're a strange bunch of dudes, as far as I'm concerned, to be this close after all these years.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd like to make 20 more reunions.
I want an invitation.
There's no more of them.
My family didn't know anything about it. Figured it was something that didn't need talking about. It was done, over with.
We didn't know sisters the way the men knew sisters.
It was like that was another lie. It didn't even dawn on me that he killed people.
I really admire my dad. He's a good guy. He's a real strong guy. Been to France and to that cemetery. It's just incredible. There's crosses upon crosses upon crosses and just lined up perfectly as far as the eye can see.
These were people that I knew. This guy here died at age 19 or 20. A whole life. Never lived.
I held my father even on his tombstone as Sergeant Jotoy, 506 PIR, 101st Airborne Division. That's what he wanted on his tombstone. It meant that much to him.
But as you know, every Army unit thinks it's the best. But we knew we were the best.
The heroes have crosses over their heads, the ones that are buried in the cemeteries. Those are the true heroes, not us.
How would you like to be a mother or a father whose son never come back? The son and the mother and father of the heroes of the Second World War. Are the guys that come home?
I don't believe there's very, very, very few heroes that came back from the war.
I cherish the memories of a question my grandson asked me the other day when he said, "Grandpa, were you a hero in the war?" Grandpa said no, but I served in a company of heroes.
May of 45. He almost made it to the end. I mean, he was at the end. A lot of June 6th, D-Day.
And we used to have a few beers at night, and I'd sing, "Sure it's a fine time for you to come in. You went to see the big parade, me eyes. Look at your shoes, even to sing. Stay away from the water bridge, darling." You only needed a sissel of beer.
Wow.
He was cute.
Yeah. Okay, so that was We Stand Alone Together. What did you think?
That was great. I still feel like I want to hug them all.
Yeah, that was good. It was... I'm glad they had the little lighthearted part at the end with him singing, because if they had just ended, you know, how they did with like all of the names of the people that died and all of that, that would have just been too like, oh man. So I'm glad they kind of ended it on a little
He was
of
a
a
good
lighthearted.
singer.
Yeah, he was. So yeah, it was I'm glad also that they gave them this episode, you know, to actually, you know, have a lot more screen time, so to speak. You know, we got to hear a lot more from them.
I kind of felt like everything we saw in this one was a lot of what they put into each
Yeah, there was some new
episode.
stuff, but I know there were a couple of quotes here and there that I had heard or remembered from previous episodes.
Though I do want to do screenshots with their names on them and then go watch it again.
Yeah, go see who they actually were.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were a couple of the names I couldn't place who it was in the show. You know, outside of like Winters for sure. No, Winters. Yeah, that's the guy in charge. But yeah, there was a couple other people I remembered. But yeah, I agree. There was some that it was kind of.
Like
I
I gotta
remember
go
his
see
name,
it.
but I can't remember which
Yeah.
character he was, which
Right.
actor played him. I
Right.
kind of wish they had shown that, like, you know, introduced it with, you know, the real person and then, like, you know, a scene of the actor next to
Yeah.
him. So, okay, that's who it is. Okay, now I got it. I got it now. So,
So we've got to see it again just for that.
yeah, we'll watch it again. So, did you enjoy this episode, though?
Yes.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, it's a shame they're gone now, but I am glad, you know, that they were still able to get together every year, and I mean that's amazing.
I wonder if their children still hold the reunion just as a remembrance for them.
That's a good question. That's a good question. Maybe somebody in the comments knows about that. We might have to look it up as well. I do wonder about that. Because and like the one guy said that the guy and I'm assuming it was his wife said, you know, that his dad never talked about it, or his sister, I don't know, but you know his dad didn't talk about it until the last 5 years. So you know, was he going to these reunions for 45, 50 years and just never said anything about it?
I don't think he talked about what happened in the war.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd probably go to the reunions because it was them and family that would go.
Yeah.
But I don't think they would talk about it. It kind of makes sense on, at least for me,
Yeah.
with my parents not talking about the old days.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe it wasn't something that brought them joy, so they didn't want to go back there, you know?
Yeah. A little story for you guys. So the first time I met Tony's father 23 years ago, I decided, I went back and thought, you know, what I learned in college, and one of the things I learned was everybody likes to talk about themselves. So if you can just get somebody talking about themselves, they'll handle the conversation. I'm not the biggest conversationalist.
And neither was my father.
Yeah, her dad was super quiet. He was an older gentleman, and he was born in the 20s. So I had this brilliant idea of, hey, the Great Depression. I mean, so much happened in the Great Depression. There's going to be so much for this guy to talk about, right? I'll just, you know, throw it out there and kick back and let him talk.
And it was one time that you had just met him or so,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we were out at dinner, I think.
Yeah, we were sitting there eating at Rudy's Barbecue, I think. And I said to him, so you grew up in the Depression, huh? He said, yeah. Yeah. I said, so what was that like? And I remember he put his fork down and he thought about it for a second and he looked at me and he said, it was depressing. Then he picked up his fork and kept on eating, and that was it. That was our first real in-depth, deep conversation I had with a man. But that was fun. But yeah.
Gotta love my daddy.
He didn't want to talk about it, or just didn't have any interesting stories or something. But that was it. That was our first conversation. So yeah. But yeah, well, we do need to take screenshots or something of the real people, you know, the actors versus, and go back and watch this again. I think that'll be good. So one of the things I kept thinking about, you know, how beautiful Austria was and all that. I mean, that would be someplace to go. But would you ever want to go to that cemetery in France?
I think that would be way too sad.
Yeah, I was
that
thinking
would be heartbreaking.
I mean, I think it's someplace that, yeah, I would like to say I've gone to and actually go to it. I mean, I don't have any family members there, so it's not like I could go see my grandfather or something like that. But yeah, it is someplace I think would be an interesting place to see.
Agreed.
just because how it has described, crosses as far as you can see, I don't think you can take in the full scope and just understand it without actually seeing it for yourself,
And I think I would have a different perspective now. Like we've gone to Washington, D.C. and gone to the, whatever it's called. And so to go back there and see that, I think I would have a different feel to it now.
Yeah. Well, maybe someday. I mean, I think Europe is definitely someplace on our list now to places we want to see. Beautiful area. If you've been to the cemetery in France, let us know what were your thoughts on it. I'm picturing it to be a very sobering experience, almost like Tony said, very sad experience. But I am interested to hear from anybody who's actually been there. What was it like? So
we love everyone's comments.
Yeah, love reading the comments. We've learned so much about every video. Every video we put out, we get so much great feedback, so many good stories, and great information that we would never have been able to find on our own, or taken months on the internet trying to track it down. So
I've really enjoyed everyone's comments and me learning more about it than I ever even imagined. I mean, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I was familiar with World War II. I mean, I was very into the planes and a lot of the like the first jet plane and the rockets that came out of it, the strategy, just the whole war always fascinated me. It was really the first like modern war. You didn't have people on horseback for the most part. World War I was much closer to the Civil War, and it was a little more modern, but it still feels like an older war. Where this, when you see it, yeah, they had planes that had propellers on them still, but it felt like a much more modern war, and that always fascinated me. The machinery of it, the weapons of it. So, but again, I think I've said this before in one of the other episodes. Actually, seeing this stuff in the manner that it was presented here was just it made it feel so much more real. It was a different experience. So,
for sure,
yeah, definitely great show. As far as the Pacific goes, it's going to be a while.
I'd like to take a little break.
Yeah, I would say maybe sometime early next year, after the first of the year.
Really, that
yeah.
long? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some other stuff to watch, some other miniseries. I mean, we're already 6 months into the year, so, we watch a couple more miniseries. That'll put us to Christmas. You're not going to want to watch the Pacific for Thanksgiving weekend or something.
No.
So yeah, I would say probably after the first of the year. We'll
sounds great.
If it's something you want to see, a lot of people have expressed concern about Toni watching it, and
I've toughened up a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's going to be an important story to see. As hard as people have said it is, I still do think it's important to see it. And maybe we have that luxury of we're not getting thrust into it, so we can take a little break. They didn't have that luxury, so
great.
But I definitely we're going to watch it at some point. Leave your thoughts below on the Pacific. I mean, is it something you want to see us react to, even, or would you rather we go react to something else? Other World War II stuff. I know there's some older movies. I know there's some that my dad really enjoyed, World War II movies. That I would like to watch. I don't know if there's a lot of demand for them, but I would like to watch them.
Your dad has great taste, so
yeah. So yeah. Anything else you?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Well, if you enjoyed the reaction, give us a thumbs up. Comment down below. Let us know what you thought of this series. We thought it was incredible. Glad we saw it. Probably going to watch it again on our own just to catch the details we might have missed. If you'd like to see our full-length reaction, we'll put the link to our Patreon down below. And we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.